if you're worried about what you might find on your kid's phone, you're not alone. But what's even scarier is how they may be hiding these things, which is why we're doing a deep dive into Vault apps today. These are secret folders that look innocent, but can be used to store photos, documents, and even other apps.
Okay, so hidden apps, Vault apps, whatever you want to call them. What are some of the apps that parents need to look out for? Like, what are some examples of those?
It's a great question, Sam. But before we get into that, I've got to shout out your shoes. Are you kidding me? Like, I thought my shoe game was on point today. I did not know that Adidas made Mary Jane's ballerina flats.
Gotta love it.
So yes, Vault apps, but like also shoes.
Shoe game strong.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to hidden apps and keeping kids safer online. Man, there are a lot of apps out there, right? We need to get like an official count of how many apps are available in the App Store, in Google Play, right? Millions. But there are certain apps that look like other apps that are not those apps. Why am I rambling? Here's an example. You have an iPhone, you have an Android, there's a built-in calculator. Cool. But if your child has more than one calculator app on their phone, unless they're the next like aspiring major mathematician and need a calculator that does this like amazing formula that a regular calculator doesn't do, it's a Vault app. Because the calculator interface allows them to enter a unique numeric code, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it unlocks, and it's no longer a calculator. It's a place to store photos, documents, screenshots of text conversations or worse, etc. There are some other apps that you should keep an eye out for. Keep Safe, Gallery Vault, also just secret folders in iOS and Android. One of the more recent iOS updates, maybe 3 or 4 updates ago, actually gave all users the ability to have hidden folders in their camera roll, which is great, I guess, for people who want to hide things from other people that might be going through their camera roll. But like, I can think of a lot more nefarious use cases for it than others. You need either face unlock or a password to get into it, I believe. So if your kid has an iPhone, chances are they're probably hiding some stuff just in the hidden folders portion of their camera roll.
I mean, even in your camera roll, when you delete certain photos, they stay in there for like 30 days. And that also takes Face ID to unlock it, to get into it.
There's a lot of parents out there that have had to do some major detective work and have found some pretty scary things. Until every parent knows about hidden apps, Vault apps, we're going to continue to spread the word and raise awareness.
So you kind of alluded to it, but why are teens using them? Like, what are they hiding? Everything.
I mean, again, I used to be a teenager. I used to be in high school. I used to make bad choices and or just choices my parents would not agree with, right? There were things that I didn't want them to know about because they just wouldn't understand. So I get it. Privacy, you're afraid of your parents seeing things and seeing the way you really talk to your friends and see the words that you're using when you're not supposed to talk like that, etc. And peer pressure. I mean, we've talked about this, but sexting is the new first base. And it's hard for us adults to come to grips with the fact that children are pressured to send nudes, even if they don't want to, for fear of not being accepted or loved by that person they're interested in. But it's a very real pressure that they're facing, and they certainly aren't trying to let you know that that's happening.
Right, definitely. I will never forget when I first started working at Bark, one of my friends who has 2 very little ones, she was like, "Did you know that 6th graders are sending nudes?" And I was like, unfortunately I did, and it might happen even before that, if you can believe it. It's just, it's we say this all the time, but it's a totally different world that kids are growing up in. So the fact that they do want to hide things or they want to be secretive is not surprising, at the least. But it's definitely something parents need to be aware of.
Absolutely. And on that note, if your child knows that they can come to you with anything, and your first reaction isn't going to be to just back that stuff out of their hand. Like, I can't tell you how many times I was frustrated with my son for gaming too long, right? And I literally wanted to drop kick the Nintendo Switch, despite how much money we paid for it.
Right.
But like, that should not be how you react, right? It's more of a, hey, these tools can cause you to make choices that you might not otherwise make if you're thinking rationally. And my job as your parent is to help you use this as a tool for good, and not a tool that can cause you or others harm.
Right.
And we'll get into that more, I think, a little bit further in this episode.
Yeah, definitely. We kind of discussed, the types of things that they're hiding. Is there anything that we didn't mention that you can think of?
Yeah, I'll just reiterate. I mean, kids are very savvy at even just deleting text messages, right? So when they come home from fill in the blank, and if you're like, okay, let me see your phone for my daily spot check, and you think you're catching things, you're not.
Yeah.
They've deleted it, or they've hid it in a vault app or in a hidden folder.
Yep.
So text conversations, DMs, pictures, video, you name it, they're probably hiding it from you.
Yep. It's crazy. I actually had a conversation with someone recently who wanted to be able to just like read everything. And they asked me, they're like, does Bark let me see everything that they're doing? And I was like, that's not how we operate. Like, of course we want you to feel that your child is protected online and we're making it a safer world for them. But like, part of our ethos is we're not trying to give parents the ability to just spy straight into their devices and see everything. Like, it's about raising your kids responsibly and, like you said, showing them how to use tech for good.
Yeah.
And I love that about us, unlike some of our competitors.
Same, yeah. And I don't even call them competitors.
I was going to say, just kidding.
People who are working also in the parental control space. And I'm glad that there are options out there for families. But nobody does it like we do in terms of, I'd say, balancing that line of privacy and your need to be a parent.
Yep. Can you think of any reason why a child should have the ability to hide media, texts, whatever it might be, from their parents?
I can think of two use cases.
Okay.
One, if the parent or caregiver is actually abusive and they're reaching out for help. We at Bark have unfortunately or fortunately detected abuse happening from within the home and have been able to get that child help. And so that's one use case. And another use case, I think, if I'm 13 and even my best friends get a hold of my phone, there's some things that can go awry.
Yeah.
And there might be some things you want to hide from your friends,
right,
if they know your password, etc. So those are the two use cases I can think. Anything else, if a child feels like they are trying to hide something from you, it's probably something that needs to be addressed. Either they need to know they actually can talk to you about that,
right,
or it's not something they should be doing.
Right. Makes perfect sense. So what are some ways that parents can check for hidden apps? Like, how are they supposed to find them outside of, you mentioned earlier, if your kid has 2 calculator apps, the chances are one of them is a vault app.
Great question. So I'll start with the easiest method, which means you don't have to do the digging. And that's just to make sure you have app approval turned on. Whether your child has an iPhone, make sure you turn that setting on. Reach out to us if you don't know how. Or if your kid has the Bark phone, it's automatic. They have to request the ability to download any app they want. And then that's your first line of defense. The next thing to do is just to search for app names. We've mentioned some. Again, reach out if you're like, what are some of the most common vault apps, or hit up Google, etc., and ask Google, what are some common vault app names, and then, swipe down on your child's phone and hit the search bar and type in the names and see if they pop up. Also, just checking to see if your child has more than one calculator, like big sign.
What are some ways parents can have a conversation with their children about honesty and trust in digital safety, why they shouldn't hide things and that they can have these open and honest conversations with their parents?
I mean, this is like a 10-part episode, just this question alone. What I will say is that if my parents lived in different houses, and there were different nuances and dynamics in each of those houses. But if my mom and my dad came to me and said, you know, Titania, there is nothing that you could ever do, no decision you could make that would ever separate you from my unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, oh, you know, first tears, and then second, like, okay, well, then there's this, and then there's this, and are you sure? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because so many things that we hide are motivated by fear.
Mm-hmm.
We're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of being punished. We're afraid of not being loved and accepted. We're afraid of the ramifications. Good kids make bad choices. And so is your kid going to tell you everything? Probably not. But will they be more likely to surface things to you that they're really struggling with, or when they're in trouble, or when they've made a bad choice, if they know you're not going to freak out and you'll help them navigate it, even if you don't agree with that choice or condone it, you'll be better set up.
Right.
It's hard, and every child's so different.
Mm-hmm.
Some children, especially those that are more neurodiverse and have bigger feelings, have even more fear and anxiety around sharing something or letting people see the real them. Whereas other kids are super confident and they're like, yeah, whatever, I did this.
Yep.
This is me.
Yep.
So really, really child dependent. But you modeling honesty to them and vulnerability to them also can go a long way. I know when I let my son have TikTok when he was 11, bad choice, y'all. During the pandemic, it was a hornet's nest. I had to go to him a couple months later and be like, Jackson, I let you have this app. You're addicted to it. It's my fault. It is not healthy for you.
Right.
I've got to take it away now. This is not a punishment. This is for your mental and physical health.
Yep.
So owning that you as the adult and parent made a mistake can also help them understand, like, hey, we can have an open, honest relationship here.
Love it. We mentioned this a little earlier, and we talk about it pretty often, but can you go a little bit deeper into how Bark helps parents detect things without having to see everything?
Yes. And again, this is one of the most amazing things about our ethos at Bark, as we're not sending parents literally everything that their kid has coming in and going out of their digital devices and accounts. It's too much, and it's an invasion of privacy.
Right.
If you're trying to build a healthy relationship with your child. Our algorithm has been trained to, over the past decade, to detect and surface things that are problematic, like suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety, disordered eating, grown adults talking to your kid in ways they shouldn't be, extreme graphic, violent sexual content. These are the things that children are experiencing online at high rates.
Yep.
I don't think I mentioned bullying too. Like, the list goes on and on and on. Those are the things that we're sending you alerts about. And I don't think any child, when they calm down and step back for a moment, will say, yeah, my parent doesn't need to know about that. No child will say that if they're being honest.
Right.
And so that's where we're coming in as, like, a bike helmet, a seatbelt, a carbon monoxide detector. We're here to alert you of the dangers. We are not here to promote helicopter parenting, spying on every little thing, being all up in your kid's business, because children need to be given a little bit of room to make mistakes,
Yep.
to build resilience, to learn, ooh, when I say that to that person, that does not sit well. They're not going to ask me to sit at their lunch table anymore.
Right.
Maybe I should be kinder. Like, it's a delicate balance. On the flip side, I will say that Bark Alerts can help promote conversations, and sometimes do need to send you into their phone to dig deeper.
Yes.
If you get a Bark Alert for CSAM, child sexual abuse material, if you get a Bark Alert and we're not about your child sending a nude, let's say, or receiving a nude, we are not going to send you that nude,
Right.
because then we would be distributing child sexual abuse material. But we're going to send you a notification letting you know, hey, something has happened and it was categorized as this. So then you need to go to your child's phone and look. Maybe even before that, you need to talk to your child and say, hey, I got this alert. Before I go look, do you want to let me know kind of what happened?
Right.
No judging, just what happened.
Right.
And then if they're like, Nope,
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about, then you might need to look,
Right.
right? Because there are legal ramifications for that. So yeah, that's what we're doing here is
Yeah.
we're trying to help our children become responsible digital natives and make enough mistakes while they're under our roof so we can help guide them into here's the better way to do things online, or here's how we need to respond when X, Y, or Z happens to us online.
Yep. I love it. Any other thoughts, anything we didn't cover regarding hidden apps, fault apps that parents need to know before we wrap this one up?
Just that, like, you might be listening to this, and thank you for listening, by the way. Like, really appreciate it. But you might be listening to this and thinking, like, oh my gosh, here's one more thing. One more thing that I got to deal with as a parent in a tech world. Over it. And I get it. You cannot be everywhere at every time. Parenting in a tech world is like a literal game of whack-a-mole. And we just can't do it all the time. So I want you to know that you're not alone. Give yourself some grace. And if you need more support, feel free to join our Facebook group, Parenting in a Tech World. Yes, it is owned by Facebook. It is on Facebook. I get the irony of that, but they have great groups. So anyway, we have one there. There's over 600,000 parents there. There are so many people there that are looking to help you with whatever situation you have. I'm there. Sam's there. A lot of the Bark team is there. A lot of mental health experts are there.
Mm-hmm.
So go there if you're struggling with anything, including fault apps.
Love it.